Hello. Welcome. You know, it's at the point where I don't even mean to clap anymore. Like, it's honestly an accident. So, I know that last video I promised 2 claps if we hit 2,000 views, 2,000 likes on the video. But I'm recording this just after I published the last video. It's a little after 5 p.m. today. And so I don't know whether or not we've reached 2,000 views, 2,000 likes, whatever. And so I'm not entirely sure what to do. I've given you 1 clap already. I'm going to decide at the end of the video what to do. If not, we can always push it back a video, but that seems disingenuous. Because 2,000 likes is like a lot of likes, and I don't know if we're capable of doing that. It was a tall order, so I don't feel as confident, you know? Anyway. We're going to have a question of the day today. So I need your guys' feedback, so if you can provide that for me, that'd be awesome. If you could let me know, like, what Pokemon and what sayings, what phrases, what things in general you associate with me, like as a content creator and as an individual, that would be really helpful for me. So if you can comment that down below, that'd be really awesome, because that is something that I need feedback on. So yeah, anyway, let's jump into the video today. Oh wait, no clapping. So basically, I made a video called Top 10 Pokemon I Want Cut from Pokemon Sword and Shield, like Pokemon that I didn't want to make it to the region, to the Galar region. And so I was thinking, what if I did kind of like the inverse of that? What if I did Pokemon that I do want to make it in? So I was originally going to do top 10 Pokemon I want to survive, right? But as I was going through the list, I realized that a lot of my favorites and a lot of the Pokemon that I wanted have already been confirmed. And so instead we're doing top 5, because I didn't want to do top 10 just for the sake of it, because there really were only about 5 like within the confines that I really wanted. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Heatran, I do really like Heatran, and I wanted to have him on this list, but like they never have like other region legendaries in the decks for the next year anyway. So yeah, so it didn't. Heatran's not making it through. I'm almost positive. So yeah. Anyway, let's just go ahead and start the video. Starting the video off, we're cheating a little bit. So number 5 on the list is Slaking, and we're also, just for the sake of it, we've got Slaking. Oops, wrong one. We got Slaking over here, and we also have Regigigas. These two are kind of like more. These are like not Pokemon that I really want in general, because like I think they're good for the format or anything. Most of the time they're pretty useless. Although I did get second at regionals with Regigigas once in 2012, and I had a cool Slaking team actually at one point as well. But that's not the point. These two I want in the decks because I would love for them to finally get a chance to shine thanks to Galarian Weezing's new ability. If you want to know more about what I think on that, I do have a video up on it on the channel talking about Galarian Weezing and its ability neutralizing gas, because both Regigigas and Slaking have like super high base stat totals, BST. They have overall really amazing stats, and they have a lot of things going for them, but they each have really pretty terrible abilities that really slow them down. So I know when Galarian Weezing's neutralizing gas was first released, a lot of people were talking about how they like these two in particular would finally have a chance to shine because they wouldn't be held back by their abilities. So these two I want to see make it, just because it would be nice to finally have them, like, their abilities are so kind of debilitating and the Pokemon are so strong that they've both actually been run with like Worry Seed partners before, Worry Seed Whimsicott. But they seem much stronger when you consider like neutralizing gas, because it also turns off opposing Intimidate. So Slaking in particular, it has access to Slack Off, and it evolves from Slack Off. If there's any Rapists who watch this, that could be a good line in your raps. But yeah, like I think I would really love for both these guys to get the chance to shine. And I'm a personal fan of the Reggie, so I know I said that most legendaries wouldn't be making it. Do I think Regigigas is gonna make it? I don't, but one can hope, right? Everything going forward is, I think, a little bit more realistic. Number 4, let me just make sure I get the order right. I had to give him a shout out. Regular Executor. Where is it? Why do I never get it right? I love this guy. I love this guy to death. People always, like, when they talk about Executor, I think a lot of the time they talk about Alolan Executor because he's, like, a much funnier design. My heart will always be with the regular Executor. He's my favorite of the Eggies, of the 2 Eggies. I like him way better. I also think he's way better competitively. Although Alolan Executor has more sweeping potential, regular Executor has a lot going for it. But with the prevalence of Landorus Therian form and Incineroar in VGC 2015, 2016, 2018, etc. Executor really hasn't had a chance to shine. He wasn't allowed in VGC 2017 or VGC 2014. And he got second at Worlds in 2012. So I think that Executor is a Pokemon that actually has a lot going for it. And I mean, obviously, I think that I brought it to Worlds in 2012, as I just mentioned. But I think that he could be really, really, really phenomenal. And I remember in 2017, I was looking at the metagame and I was like, if you have Executor, it beats almost everything in this format, minus Arcanine and like a couple other Pokemon, but it was like positive Garchomp matchup. Positive matchup against all of the Tapus. It resists Psychic, it resists Electric, it resists Grass, it resists Water, it resists all 4 of those typings. But you could only use a Alolan Executor, and the additional weakness to Ice, the lack of a Fairy typing, the weakness to Fairy, made a big deal. So, I really like I really like regular Executor. I think he's like a very good example of a niche Pokemon that in certain formats and certain scenarios can be phenomenal, but is obviously not overpowering in general and normally gets forgotten. So just because, I would love to see him make it, and I hope that he does. And he's Gen 1 and he's Executor, so I think he has a chance, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's move on. Number 3 on the list is Politoed. I finally did it right. Politoed, another personal favorite of mine. I want Politoed for 2 reasons. Number 1, I think, like, the Pokemon that I want to make it are good examples of Pokemon that are good, but not too good. Like, they don't feel oppressive most of the time. They have very clear weaknesses. They have very well-defined weaknesses. But they're still good, and they fill their niche well, and they provide a lot of value for what they do. So, with that in mind, I really love Politoed. I think that it's such a good defensive weather Pokemon. It has really good support moves. So Politoed is kind of good naturally because it has access to Scald, access to Drizzle as well. So Politoed, for those of you who don't know, Politoed's the main thing it has going for it is that it's able to set the rain with Drizzle. Drizzle calls in a rain storm, calls in rain for 5 turns from when the Pokemon is activated. You can reset it if it goes away or if it's overwritten. And Politoed's really good because it's a naturally, especially bulky Pokemon. And it has access to moves like Scald, Perish Song, Encore, Ice Beam. I normally run Toxic is another one, but everyone gets Toxic. I normally like Protect, Scald, Encore, Perish Song on my Politoed. It does a good helping hand. It's unclear actually with how tutors. Let me turn that down a little bit. Sorry. It's very loud. It's unclear how tutors are going to work. I was under the impression that tutors are not available, but someone mentioned to me that Gastrodon, a Pokemon known for not learning Earth Power normally, actually was seen using Earth Power in a trailer, in the Galarian Weezing trailer, actually. So, it's kind of unclear how move tutors are going to work, so it's also possible Politoed gets Helping Hand. I love Politoed. I think that, I think Politoed is just a great example of it. It can be offensive. People have run Specs. Back in the day, they ran Water Gem. After that day, but before this day, they would run Z-Move sometimes, but it's just a very solid, bulky water type. And the other weathers at the moment, they have, like, Aurorus is in the Dex, Ninetales Alola is in the Dex, Bulbasaur is in the Dex, Vanillix is in the Dex, or whatever the final form is called. All 4 of the Hail Setters in the Dex. Tyranitar, Hippowdon, and Jigglypuff are all in the Dex, all of the Sand Setters. I don't think I'm forgetting any of those. And then Ninetales and, I believe, Torkoal. Let's check that really quick. I actually don't know if Torkoal is in the Dex. Okay, Torkoal's not in the Dex right now, but Ninetales is. I don't think there's another Sunsetter at the moment. But yeah, so Ninetales is in the Dex as well. So basically, Sun and Rain are actually the ones that are missing their primary, or I would say they're stronger of the Weather Setters. Pelipper has been confirmed, but Pelipper is not very good at all, especially in VGC. It's rather, in my opinion, pretty terrible. Although Tommy Coolene actually was known for using Pelipper quite effectively. So, in my opinion, Pelipper's bad. But yeah, I would love to see Politoed get some love. I think it's a really well-balanced Pokemon. It allows Pokemon like Ludicolo, who's also in the Dex, to shine. I used Politoed both in 2014 and in 2017. Brought it to Worlds in 2014 in the restricted Dex. So, personal favorite Pokemon of mine. And yeah, I think I would love if it survived. Number 2. Pokemon, not a lot of people are going to agree with me on this, but the Giga Mummy. I love this guy. One of my all-time favorite Pokemon. One of my original kind of signature Pokemon. I used Giga Mummy Coffagrigus back in 2011 when it was first released in Pokemon Black and White. It's such a cool Pokemon, and unfortunately, it really doesn't get the chance to shine a lot of the time, thanks to other Pokemon kind of overpowering or outshining it. But in a restricted format, it's where it can really shine, when there's not as many good, bulky ghost-type Trick Room setters. This thing functions primarily as a Trick Room setter. It gets Will-O-Wisp and Trick Room, and it has the signature ability Mummy, which says that when any Pokemon makes contact with it, Mummy is transferred and duplicated over to whatever touches it. So if Scrappy Kangaskhan, for example, were to use Fake Out on Cofagrigus, after it used Fake Out, Scrappy would be overridden by Mummy. So you can transfer Mummy back and forth. I have a lot of love for Cofagrigus. I think it's a great Pokemon. I am always looking for chances to use it, but it really gets outshone a lot of the time, especially as we get more and more Trick Room users. But with all that being said, I think it could be good next year. Of course, we don't know a lot about the games yet, but yeah, I would really love for Cofagrigus to make it through. Like one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. It's such a good design, such a funny Pokemon, and yeah, maybe we'll get Giga Mummy, and we can Gigantamax your Giga Mummy or whatever. But yeah, I love Cofagrigus, and I think it's another, again, all these Pokemon are kind of Pokemon that I feel like are good in certain situations, but not overpowered. They're not Pokemon you're going to see on every team, but that makes them more fun in my opinion. I wouldn't want anything like, there's a reason I don't want Incineroar in the decks, right? Like, I think I personally value Pokemon that are good, but they're not as obviously good. Like, you have to work a little bit to figure out where their niche is and how to really let them shine. So, unlike a Pokemon like Incineroar or Landorus, which kind of just, it's very clear what they do and why they're good. So, anyway, number 1 on the list, drum roll please. Oh, I can like shake the camera when I bang the desk. Sorry, that's probably annoying. Number 1 Pokemon, my boy, Scrafty. Love this guy. If I could bring any one Pokemon from that's not currently in the decks to the decks, I'd bring Scrafty. I love Scrafty. I've been using him for years. 2011, 2013, no, 2014, 2015, 2016 as well, yeah. Didn't really use him 2018, sorry Scrafty, or 2019, sorry Scrafty. But I love Scrafty. His weakness to Fairy is kind of a problem, but everyone has weaknesses, you know? Everyone's got things they gotta overcome. So, Scrafty is a Fake Out and Intimidate Pokemon similar to Incineroar and similar to Hitmontop. However, it's not as, it doesn't feel as overwhelming, it doesn't feel as powerful. It's a very good defensive Pokemon, and it's just one of those Pokemon that's overall very solid. It fills a support role well, but it's not overpowering. It can be a little bit offensive. There was a period in Japan, I believe, or maybe it was Korea. Does anyone remember? I think it actually might have been Korea, where Choice Band Scrafty was a thing. If you remember, let me know. I don't remember. Offensive Scrafty for sure was a thing at one point, and I think on a Trick Room Rain team, maybe that was like the 2012 team. That was an old team. Or maybe that was Lum Scrafty. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. But basically, I love Scrafty. Another Pokemon that, like, as the power increases, he has a harder time keeping up. When there's almost no reason to use a Pokemon like Scrafty over a Pokemon like Incineroar, and you even need a reason to use it over Hitmontop. But Scrafty has the advantage of having Drain Punch and being a little bulkier at the cost of some support moves of like Feint and Wide Guard, for example. But yeah, I really like Scrafty. I think he shines especially in restricted formats. And yeah, I don't know, like, Scrafty's just like such a good support Pokemon. He's also a better support for Trick Room. Like, we don't currently have a really great Trick Room Fake Out partner, or no, definitely not as good a one as Scrafty. Like, we have Hitmontop, but it's not exactly the same kind of thing, and I don't even know how to explain why Hitmontop and Scrafty feel different in Trick Room, but I think it's the bulk, the dark typing, the lack of weakness to Psychic. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, that's all I want to say about that. I love Scrafty, and I would really love if he made it through. If I could bring only one, I'd bring Scrafty. Scrafty, you and me together, man. But yeah, that's the video. Should we clap twice? Should we do it? You know what? Even if we don't get to 2,000 likes in the last video, I still love you guys. You guys are still important to me. I still appreciate you being here. So, this is my faith in you, and even if we don't get there, you earned it anyway. You deserve it. So here you go. We're going to clap twice. Are you ready? I guess it's technically 3 times since I clapped at the beginning, and for all I know, I clapped in the middle too. I wasn't paying attention, but anyway, yeah, that's the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know your comments down below on what Pokemon you would bring down to the Galar region. That would be cool. Would love to see it. Please check out the other videos on my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm really trying to ramp up towards Sword and Shield, and the more subscribers I can get from videos like these, the more motivated I am to keep pumping out content. And yeah. Also, I'm taking suggestions. Like, I have kind of some open room for, I have a couple more videos planned out, but if there's anything you want to see me talk about, please let me know. So, yeah, please let me know down below. I'd love to see your suggestions. I've gotten some really good suggestions already, so thank you to people who have been suggesting, but, yeah, I think that's all I want to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Hello?